and thank you for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. Today, I'm going to be talking about asking permission from a herb or a inanimate object to be used in your craft. So, one of the things that you would need to do is select an object. That should be your first step. Did you get one as a gift? Did you find it at a thrift store and thought, that is a nice bell, I want that bell? Or did you think, I like that rock, I want that rock? And you pick that rock up and you take that rock home. Now you have a new item. But what do? Well, it really varies on what your comfort level is. You could cleanse it, and usually I don't like it. I cleanse it, but I don't put the intent into cleansing it. It's just kind of like, this is mine now. And so because it's mine, it's going to be cleansed. Because it's like, my brain is just like, this is good, it's mine. But you can put the actual intent of thinking, cleansing it, you can picture a light or whatever. I just kind of like envelop it as my own and like it's mine, so it's cleansed now, and that's what's going to happen. The rest would just move out of the way and it would be mine. Other people have different methods, but that's what I would do for an object. You could have a full like ceremony, and I've done this with my phone because it comes in contact with so many like internet people and so many different things that it is a magical object. I use it to look up things, I use it to take notes, I record spells sometimes, I do all my videos. So like I treat my phone in the same way I would cleanse it by like regularly thinking about like, doing it. But you could also do a full ceremony, which I have done one for money, to draw money, since I use my phone for resumes and for job applications and other little things, and lots of other like work stuff like paid daily pay and stuff like that. But you would cleanse it, and then you would ask it. Like, you can do it formally, you can do it informally, like, I want you to work under me, or for me, or with me. It's up to you how you approach your craft. It would be the same as you approaching a spirit. Just imagine that it's animated. I personify with animism basically a lot of objects. That's why you'll see me apologize to random things that I've bumped into and such. But with like the object, you'll speak to it like it's a person. Be like, okay, I want you to work for me. I want you to do this thing, and in return, I'll make sure you don't get like destroyed. So it's like a fair deal. In the case of like certain jewelry items, like I'm going to use you for this purpose, you are going to be used in to help me feel more confident, or you're going to be used to make me feel more at ease in the situation. These are the things that you are going to do for me. In return, I will make sure to wear you. I will make sure that you are seen and that you don't get like demolished. I'll make sure that you get appreciated and that you get utilized, so that you don't just waste away. And in that way, they could agree or disagree. And I guess you would feel positive or negative energy in your own way. Or I would just I don't know that I put words to it. It's just one of those things that's, okay, this is going to work. Or, oh, I don't think this is going to work. And like if a rock straight out told me like, no, I don't want to work with you, I'd probably just yeet the rock. Like, I picked it up and it said no, so bye. But I don't usually have an object that's just like, nah, fam. It's usually just indifferent or positive. And when it's positive, it's usually like, it's almost has like an affinity towards being a magical object. It's almost like it waited for this moment. It was a quest item, I found the quest item, and now it can serve its purpose in helping me defeat the big bad. So essentially you would just find an item. You can either cleanse it or ask it to help you, whichever one you want to do first. I like the idea of like cleansing it or just enveloping it with my energy to be mine now first, because I want the item to be on a good foot. Like, you don't want something to be like covered in mud and hungry and mad when you ask it to help you. The answer is going to be probably no. Like, my sim has other things, all are in the red, I don't have time for this right now, I can't do it. And then my sim's going to cry, pee itself, and die. And then I'm going to have to battle the Grim Reaper with the fiddle. So like, make sure, like, I like to cleanse things first. Just like, this is mine. I'm so happy. You're mine. I can't wait to use you. And then it's like, hey, is this cool? And then it happens. It can just be like a mental acceptance, like, you accept me, I accept you, and just take it in that way. But it's a really basic concept, and it works with any traditionally inanimate object. It can get a magical mind of its own, or like you assume the identity onto it. Part of it, to me, feels like a psychological, you're projecting these things onto the object, and the other part is just, it's your belief in the ability of the object to have a opinion. It's your belief in the object to have a personality, and you see it with different objects. You know that this teapot works best when you do this one thing. You tilt it this specific way and set it slightly like off center of the eye, and then it's perfect. It works perfect, and it's like, you get the personality of the object. Similar with like working with a tool and finding a tool that works for you. I feel this tool is the one. You make me feel good. Like my Mala beads, the one set that I've worn before that was supposed to calm me down, felt like a chain. It felt like a chain and a collar. And it's supposed to be like spiritually like protective in a way, but also allowing me to meditate, which is like a hard thing to do when you have ADHD, because you don't just never have nothing going on. Well, the ones that I picked are a stone that is more jumpy. It's more movement. I feel free when I wear it. I don't feel chained down. I feel secure, like I'm wearing like a jacket, or I'm wearing, in the analogy of the leash, I'm wearing a like shot collar. Like I have all this yard. I don't feel like I'm trapped. I feel like I have the whole world at my fingertips. Of course I don't, and I have a secured space, and that's where the safety comes in. With objects, it's very similar, because you would be like, okay, you have this purpose, and this is what I'm going to use you for. Is that good? Are you going to cooperate? Do I need to know your nuances? Like, do you not like to sit near the cauldron? Do you not like the cauldron? I'm sorry, what you got going on with the cauldron? Did y'all date previously? Like, I'm so sorry. I did not get the seating chart. I apologize. And then you move them. And you can see it in physical ways, like jump. I see it with in a very ecstatic, kind of exciting way, I guess, with some objects that I use like in the craft just for cleansing. If they are in a place that they don't like, they will jump off the wall, or they will come out of the ceiling. They will not stay, and it won't be that they're being hung on something that it doesn't allow for their weight. It'll just be that I didn't put it in the right spot, and so I'll experiment and find a better place, and then they'll just stay. They'll cooperate, they'll do as they were intended, and it's like, okay, so you didn't want to sit there, you preferred sitting here, that's fine. And it's the same thing with picking your object. Once you've cleansed it, once you've asked it to do what you want, you need to know your object. Treat it like a friend, treat it like you understand it. If you promise that you're going to use it every other day, and then you use it once a month, and it's kind of not doing what it's supposed to, maybe it's because you broke your promise. Maybe it's because you aren't fulfilling your end of the bargain. So think of these things when you find an object to cleanse and use in your craft. Pretty basic, and there can be different ways to interpret it. You can do a formal ritual where you have some kind of like poem prepared or a long sonnet, and you can use like holy salt or holy water. Being mindful that some objects are like, don't put malachite in water, you know, stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't want to put like, oh, I got this new herb, I'm gonna put it in water. Now you have tea or poison. Deadly tea, no, it's deadly poison or delectable tea. There we go. Yeah, think about before you do. Like, don't just stick your opal anywhere. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna cleanse my rose quartz. Let me set it on the windowsill in the sun. That's not a good plan. Like, think before you do. So just remember, find an object, cleanse, ask it if it wants to be your friend, basically, and then keep up the maintenance of the friendship with the inanimate object, I guess. Learn its personality and know how to use it. Don't just get like an athame and be like, I'm going to use this to carve into my Book of Shadows. Like, know what the object's for. Don't be ridiculous. But just be respectful to the object, and the object should respect you. It could be an absurdly rude object. That's fair. Well, talk to it, ask it why. Maybe change up some things. Maybe you're disrespecting it and you don't know. All right, so this has been working with inanimate objects to ask them to be in your craft and getting the permission to use them. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. If you have an object that you've cleansed and that you work with in your craft that you have asked the permission to work with you or under you, comment below. What is it? How'd you do it? What is your preferred method? Have you tried different methods? All right, subscribe, and if you like the video, please feel free to share. Bye.